What's up, everyone? This is Anthony Gallegos at IGN here with Justin Davis.
Hello.
And both of us are big Civ players, and this is the new Civ 5 expansion, Civilization 5 Gods and Kings. More specifically, what you're looking at right now is a scenario for Civilization 5 Gods and Kings called Empires of the Smoky Skies, which is a steampunk scenario. So you actually have new cool units like these land ironclads, which are early versions of steam-powered machinery. So it takes place probably in like a early 20th century sort of setting where everyone's kind of coming up with new technologies, and it's almost like as if the world kind of never advanced past that stage in a way.
Right. So, one thing that jumps out at me about this is the first time, or certainly one of the first times, that Civ has deviated from true history, right? Or have they done that in like scenario packs in the past?
I mean, there's always been a lot of mods that have done that, and I'm not sure if they've done it in past scenarios, but this is one of the ones. This is like the one that they're blowing out, and you're right. Like the other scenarios in this are like the fall of Rome. Yeah. It's that sort of thing. And then you have this, which is obviously radically different.
It seems weird to, make all these new units, and we're gonna look at some cooler, sort of later ones a little bit later, but new units, new art, all this new stuff just for like a single scenario, don't you think? Or?
Yeah. I mean, they've not only done that, but they've included all these crazy Civilopedia entries for the different leaders of these factions.
That aren't even real people.
Yeah, they've written like full-on, 200-word quotes for each of these guys about the different ways that they rule, and you can see the goggles and stuff are very steampunk oriented.
Do you have a favorite?
Currently the one I am playing as, actually he's my favorite, okay. Cyrus Rotherham, leader of Uruk. But and they have all these unique stats too, right? Airships get +2 movement, so they've gone through and they've put in all this effort to create different Civilopedia entries, different units, and not only that, but there's different victory conditions in this, the cultural victories and all those things. Those are there in a way.
Right,
but
so
the way
this has a special, sorry, go ahead. The new victory conditions.
Yeah. So each of these victory conditions are contingent upon unlocking various technologies. So once you research to a certain point, you can unlock these new victory conditions, and to win, you have to have 3 of them for 5 turns, which you'd be surprised is really hard. So Defender of Progress, this one's about having the latest and greatest airships. Got it. And land ships. Currently, I'm behind my competition. Grand Philanthropist, this is about how many world wonders you build. So you can, if you want to focus on building up a bunch of wonders and stuff and beating people on that, that's fine, but you only have 1 of the victory conditions you need.
That actually sounds tough. So you would need to, you would need to not only have the most wonders, you would also need to have the most advanced airships, and also, it sounds like one of them looks like has to have the most money, for example.
Yeah, you need the highest production, you need to have the largest amount of gold produced in the whole game. This one, you need to have the most social policies adapted, and there are all new social trees as well. Okay. The visuals, are obviously like this one's, I think, liberty, and the other one, but now it's labor, culture, there's a military one. But these are the trees, and so the more social policies you get, that will lend you towards a cultural, at least one of the cultural victory conditions. So you need to be focusing on everything. You can't just do one. You have to do culture, you have to do money, you have to do military building.
And this is what we're focusing on right now is one of, I think you said 10 new scenarios in the expansion?
Right.
Okay. And we've talked
about... sorry. 3 new scenarios in the expansion. Yeah.
3 scenarios, and this is the same expansion that adds, religion to the base game, right?
Correct, yeah. And this one, as you can see up in the top, religion is disabled. Right. Because this is obviously focusing on industry and that sort of thing.
Yeah, steampunk is all about science.
Correct, yeah. So there's no religion in this. But yeah, religion is a big part of this whole expansion. This is just offering a kind of different sort of take. It also involves a lot of espionage. Yeah. So when you start in this one, because it's a little bit higher in the thing, you actually have spies that then, if I wanted to, I could tell him, I'd like you to go spy on the city-state of Colombo, and then eventually I could try and make him, attempt a coup to turn them over. And all these things can actually work in your favor, because maybe a certain city-state might give me additional culture if they're my friends, and that can really benefit me if one of the victory conditions I'm going for is Grand Lord of Refinement, where I'm trying to get the most social policies adopted. Yeah. So let's fast forward here just a moment to check out some of the really cool later units in the game.
It's true. You did some homework. Through the magic of, the internet and recording, we can skip ahead. Yeah, sometimes I don't know. I feel like steampunk can be they get super crazy with it, with like super crazy goggles and all this, and the art here is a little bit more down to earth, I would say.
Yeah, the art in general for a lot of it is an homage to a lot of modern steampunk art, but it's still very much keeping in line with like seems like it could have been plausible that these things could have happened.
Are the cities different? Like if you zoom in on that, is it?
No, it's pretty much the same thing. You know, you see stadiums and that sort of thing.
It's really the units that are...
Yeah, it's units. It's that there's new resources like this Ethereum, which is like something involved in making airships. You know, there's this new radioactive material called luboric, which is important when you want to make grand things like these land leviathans.
Whoa.
These are the most upgraded versions of the tanks that you get in the game. And eventually you also get these sky fortresses.
Sky Fortress? That's insane.
Yeah, it's awesome, right? You have these, you have totally,
really cool.
You know, the airships and all those things that everyone loves seeing in all these other games that they've grown up with, whether it was Final Fantasy or the like of that. You know, steampunk's huge, and they've done a really good job paying homage to that.
So I've told you before that any game that includes airships gets an automatic 0.5 score boost from me.
I cannot confirm or deny that will happen with IGN's review score, but who knows?
Yeah. I have a well-documented weakness for airships. I love them. I can't get enough. So that's awesome. That's
you also have to worry about building. You know, there's new structures to build. Obviously, Taurus Dynamo. You can build airship hangars to give yourself additional experience. So granted, it's all kind of predictable stuff, but it's just that little extra bit that kind of adds to the universe and makes it feel like, you know, they've really put in the time and effort to make this like a fully fledged like scenario. It's not just like something they just kind of shoehorn in.
I mean, it's cool. It's cool, you know, the units all have different stats, and, you know, Civ has always been a little bit of like rock, paper, scissors, and so it's nice to just have new, you know, just new things you have to think about.
Yeah. So real quick, I'm going to jump into war with someone.
Okay, and we're gonna see what those flying fortresses can do.
Yeah.
Sorry, which guy was that?
Orlin.
Sorry,
or
Orlin.
He runs Orlin.
Okay.
I should say. So now we'll just come over here. We're gonna attack.
Oh man.
It's pretty. Granted, you know, you've never played Civilization exactly for the riveting look of the combat, but it's still cool to see like these new units with new animations. You know, that obviously look way different than what you're used to.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a different feeling universe that.
What's that car?
That's a great person.
Oh,
you still have the great persons, you know, and you still do the all of the diplomacy that you would expect, except, you know, instead of an animated person, now you see a really well-drawn portrait.
That's true. I guess they were animated in Civ 5, weren't they?
They are, yeah. I mean, so there were certain things that don't quite make it as, like, fully fledged as maybe other things, but this is just a scenario, you know. On top of this in the expansion, you still get all the religion, all that other stuff that you can still do in just the base game, you know. You can still do infinite games of endlessly repeatable, you know, you don't have any objectives, you don't know what you're going to face, you just jump into a randomly generated world.
Yeah, and do you know, I mean, so I've played Civ, you know, as much as the next guy, I've played a lot of Civ, but I've never really paid too much attention to the scenarios. Like, you know, I mean, I don't know, it seems like something that would extend the replay value quite a bit. You know, it seems like it gives them a nice opportunity to, like, custom design a challenge that, you know, the map's set up a certain way and the nations are set up a certain way.
That's exactly right. I mean, in this you have, like we've said, right, you have very specific objectives, you have new types of units that you have to think about how they fight differently in combat. You have, you know, your goals are just different in this than they are in a standard Civilization game.
And
which
you're
is
winning,
kind of,
you're about to win, look at that, you're winning.
Yeah, this is actually a game where I've already won. I've just jumped in with the magic of time to show you what a high-level game looks like.
It's true.
So yeah, that's kind of a large overview of the Civ 5 expansion. And for more on Civilization 5 Gods and Kings, you should always go to IGN.